Hi everyone, I'm Rohan from Homburg Real Estate.
And I'm James Adams from Turkey Flat Vineyards.
And welcome to the third episode of Properties and Plonk. Now today, Jim, we are out at Sieber Wines.
Sieber Wines,
here,
yes.
On the western ridge of the Barossa.
That's right, yep. So for all you people playing at home, out on the western ridge is basically the gateway into the Barossa from the city, so down Gummersole Road. And where Sieber is located, we've literally got Seppeltsfield 2 minutes down the road. We've got Hentley Farm just down the road as well. This is some prime, grape growing territory out here in the Barossa Valley. So, yeah, very excited to be out here at Sieber today.
Talk about the Western Ridge for a second. I always remember growing up and people always spoke about, the Western Ridge Reds and stuff like that. Of the Barossa.
Yeah, they're the big, rich ones out here, absolutely. And you can always put Stonewell and like Marananga and all that into it as well, and they're quite famous sub-regions of the Barossa too out here. But yeah, always a bit earlier picked out here too. But yeah, bigger styled reds out this side of the valley for sure. So we're basically directly opposite from the Eden Valley, so we're out on the west side. Eden Valley's out on the east. I always say the Barossa is a bit like a rectangle, so you've got Eden Valley out to the east, out here to the west, then you've got Canunga, Ebenezer up to the north, and then Lyndoch, Williamstown, and those regions down to the south. So that gives you a bit of an idea of where we are. So yeah, basically straight off the highway, and 10 minutes here we are at Sieber.
And they're on the main drag. It was when I say recently bitumised, probably a few years ago. Hentley Farm and Seppeltsfield Wines took all that to the next level. They benefited from the bitumen.
So basically, you can go from Seppeltsfield all the way down to Lyndoch now, which is bitumised. So we're on Gerald Roberts Road. Back in the day, it used to be a nightmare of a dirt road to get down here, but now that's all bitumised, which is great. Basically links north to south off the main road, really off Barossa Valley Way, which is awesome.
So we'll get on to their wine in a minute. Dan has graciously agreed to have us, Dan and the Sieber family. So we thank them for having us.
Thank you very much.
And we'll get to the wine in a second. Mate, you've been travelling a lot. Tell us about what's going on with your work.
Yeah. I've been up in Brisbane doing some trade work and a lunch for Turkey Flat. Going to jump on the bird in a couple of days' time and head over to Perth as well. But yeah, from what I'm seeing, sort of out in there in the market and things like that, people are still buying wine, which is great. It's good. We do hear a little bit of doom and gloom there with the wine industry, but people are still spending, which is great. As long as you've got a good product, you've got your name out there and things like that. Yeah, it was really encouraging for me the last few days up in Brizzy.
Excellent.
It's a fantastic market. Yeah, we're so well received up there. Our rosé, far out, it just, walks out the door, really. It's such a good product. So, that's awesome. We're doing well, and I can't wait to head over to Perth in a couple days' time as well and check out how it's all going out there as well. Yeah.
And you came back to some rain, mate.
Came back to some rain, far out.
Finally.
I thought the other day it was weird driving to work with the windscreen wipers on. It was strange. But up in Brisbane, they were complaining that 6 degrees was freezing cold, and I was like, come on, grow up, guys. Like, come down to the Barossa when it's like -1, then you'll see what cold is. Like,
the last time we did the podcast, it is a while ago.
We do apologise.
I've been away as well. But we sat in the Tim Smith barrel shed
we did.
in his winery, and it was one of those 29-degree days, windy,
unseasonable, strange.
And we were talking about the vines in that. The vineyard sort of reshooting all that again because they were getting confused.
Well, now, like all that wind we've had, the fronts that have come through and the rain, it's completely different now. And there's actually, no leaf out there and people are pruning and we're sort of semi into winter now. I wouldn't say we're officially into winter. It's because we've got another 20-odd degree day coming up. A couple 20-degree days, which is just odd. But I think the big thing is the rainfall total that we've got now. We've surpassed 2024 this time of the year, which is good. That's a good thing. What have we had? 70-odd mil or something, wasn't it, since we've last last done this, which is awesome. Like when we needed it.
Just what we need. Yeah, that's right. We need more, but
well, we've got something which is good, and there might be a little bit next week as well, which is great. So everything, we'll take everything we can out there at the moment. So just feel for the poor pruners out there, but that's all right. That's what they do. Put some port on the edge of the of the row. Prune a row and have a bit of a nip of port. That's all right.
So we'll talk about Sieber Wines just quickly. We're out here, as we discussed, at Sieber Wines. They've had the property for close to 100 years. So bought it back in the 1930s. They've been here for almost 100 years. Today we've got a GSM.
A GSM here, which I wanted to highlight blends today. So each episode we'll try and do a bit of a theme. Obviously, we did Grenache to start with. We've done, what was it, the Roussan with Timmy Smith. Now we're going to do a bit of a Barossa blend as well. So trying to stay away from Shiraz as long as I can, but inevitably we're going to get to Shiraz soon. But yeah, I thought we'd try his GSM today, which is a Grenache Shiraz Mataro blend. So yeah, I was having a bit of a read. They've got about, 100 acres out here of pretty decent vineyard, Grenache, Shiraz, Mataro. They have some Viognier out here. I believe they've got some Montepulciano as well, from what I read as well, which is an Italian variety as well. But yeah, good wines out here with the Siebes. They've got their own winery, so we're in their winery at the moment, sit in front of these nice, shiny stainless steel tanks here.
And this lovely blue tub.
And yeah, this lovely prop that we have here, which is a blue tub. But, we're in a winery, so whatever goes. So yeah, the old GSM blends, they're, arguably, the Barossa, true Barossa blend. You could argue Shiraz Cabernet is as well. But those GSMs back in the day, the Grenache Shiraz Mataro would have been used for fortifieds back in the day.
Yep.
Just because they love the heat here, but putting them together, they're just a beautiful blend.
For those that don't know, what's the mix normally in between the three varieties?
That's completely up to the winemaker. So I've just blended our 23. I don't want to do a bit of cross promotion here, but the Turkey Flat Butcher's Block GSM. But yeah, it took me over sort of 8 to 9 hours on the tasting bench to get the right percentages. So you just play around that. I guess that's a skill of winemaking as well, is you've got to make sure that each individual of the three varieties, one doesn't stick out or poke out. You want them all to be cohesive in the blend. So this blend here, I'm reading on the back label now, is a 56% Grenache. So it's a Grenache dominant blend, 23% Shiraz, and actually 21% Mataro, which traditionally in these types of blends, you don't see Mataro too big because it's quite savoury and tannic in its structure. So to see Mataro quite higher up in this wines, it's quite cool to see. So yeah, obviously this GSM was completely down to the winemaker at the time and what they thought best which best sort of showed the blend really and how things looked. So but these GSMs, they're just sort of those gastronomic wines. Have them with food, easy drinking, sort of not too serious as well. So and that's what I love about blends as well.
I love my GSMs.
They're lighter, and that's how I make mine as well. Quite light and sort of refreshing almost. It's probably a funny word to use, but yeah, you don't want them big and heavy like a Barossa Shiraz. So so basically with the Grenache, we're looking at Grenache, all those lovely red fruit. Shiraz, you want some nice plushness on the mouthfeel. Give it some richness there, and then the Mataro, sort of the nice savouriness as well. It's funny with GSMs. I got caught out one day with a punter who I was pouring a GSM at my previous winery, but we actually made a GMS, so a Grenache Mataro Shiraz. And no matter how much I tried to talk sense into this person, she was telling me I was wrong. I was saying, this is our GMS. No, you mean a GSM. I said, no, it's a GMS. So you've got to sometimes understand that it goes in the line of the highest percent to the lowest in a blend. But it doesn't, so Tim Smith, for example, he does an MSG or an MGS. So it's Mataro dominant. So it's all just down to what sort of and how you best represent the blend. So that was quite a hilarious debate I was having with a punter one day, saying, no, you're trying to MS.
Outsmart the one.
Yeah, gosh, it was funny. So it's the blends still have a place, absolutely, 100%. And they're just lovely, easy, quaffable. We call them our pizza pasta wines at work as well. They're just really quaffable. No real seriousness to them. It's just delicious drinking. So I've just been looking at the color, like as I've been talking, like that color is just really, really dense and vibrant, which is good. So yeah, it's quite a bit of oak on this one from what I can see as well, but yeah,
good stuff.
So that's nice.
Thank you, Siebers.
Up front, very, very plush, easy drinking, finishes off nice and savory as well. That will go beautifully with pasta.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big time would go well with pasta, that one. It's quite smashable. So these retail and pretty smart. They retail for quite smart prices as well. So I'd go on to SieberWines.com and you'll be able to check out the whole range of Sieber wines here. They do Shiraz, they do Grenaches. I think they do a Shiraz Grenache blend as well. So, and they're just about to bottle their 2025 Viognier as well,
right?
Which Daniel was very excited about. I never called him Daniel before, which he was very excited about. So please check them out. It's another one of these brands that we're trying to highlight.
Absolutely,
like these smaller guys,
family owned,
the ones that are out there at the moment, getting stuck into it, getting their hands dirty, out in the cold weather. You know, they got a beautiful cellar door over here as well. So
lovely spot.
Yeah,
really lovely.
And with the whole bitumizing of the road now, like there's no excuses. You can come out here and check out these.
If you're doing Henley, if you're doing Seppeltsfield,
you can come. You can come here to Sieber Wines as well. So it's a lovely little wine. This one, so it's a nice little gateway into what they do here, which is great. So obviously for people to explore, please check them out. And lastly, on their website, it was quite cute. It had the hidden gem of the Western Barossa, which I thought was quite a cool little tagline. So, you know, knowing that they're in the company of some pretty heavy players out here, that was it's quite a cool little tagline for them, and I think that's true as well.
Yeah, so, no, they're doing good things.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we could talk wine all day, Ro. What's going on out there in the property? Well, one thing I did notice is that Gembrook, there's houses popping up on that estate just out of Mingy Road.
Yes. That's come up really quickly.
You might not, I don't know if you have the insider info there, but geez, that's come up quick. Like,
it has. It took a long time for people to get the titles done.
Right.
So the titles, the developer that was doing it through no fault of their own, it just took time for the titles to come through. Once the titles finally did, the beauty of what it let people do is allowed people to get all their builds in, not in place, but basically set up their builds, get floor plans, get all this kind of stuff done. And then as soon as the titles came through, they could submit it to the council and get it all through.
Yeah, wow.
So that will be going up. Wow. You'll find that'll go up really
quick. Yeah.
That's right. There is a serious shortage of good quality land here in the Barossa.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I said, I've been away, and then just to come back and 3 houses have popped up already. It's just insane how quickly that's happening.
Absolutely.
Out there.
So that will be a really beautiful estate. The developers that are doing it have done a really nice job. There's a creek line that runs through, which they're going to beautify. So that will be, nice. That's lovely, actually, that estate out there. And not surprisingly, given the lack of land, especially in Tanunda, that has sold really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all branching out on that eastern side of Tanunda, isn't it? And we're seeing a bit of development out there.
Yeah, that's right.
But how else is it? Things going out there? Are we?
Yeah, good.
We're still.
It's funny. We're just
optimistic out there and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, look, the market's still in a good spot. Maybe not the great that it was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we chatted about this before we hit record, but probably the last 3 years, and especially up to about 2024, it was relatively easy to exceed vendor expectations because at the time the market was still surging pretty quickly, and vendors would come in and say, "Oh, look, Bob's house down the street sold for this. I'd like to get this." And that was 6 months ago.
Yeah,
they had a lift in their property price in that time, and they go, "Wow, I was hoping for this. You went and got me that." But probably at a point now where while the market's still strong, vendors' expectations have really caught up with the market, and if not, sometimes exceeded them. And there is a danger in this market, or at any market, of going out too high. And you hear crickets. And that's where I guess our job is critical to make sure that we, number one, understand the market because we're locals, we know what stuff goes for, and we understand how the market works and responds. But then secondly, making sure that we've got the pricing right.
Absolutely.
And ensuring that we get people through the door and you can actually get offers.
Do you think the interest rates are helping at all?
Hasn't seemed to have just yet,
because there's all talk we're going to see more of this as well.
I only read a thing the other day that I think Westpac are predicting 4 by the end of 2026. So 2 by the end of this year, and then another 2 next year. That'll no doubt buoy the market. But at this stage, we really haven't seen it. In saying that, I just sold one in Newry, and we're just about to put a sold sticker up tonight, so I won't talk too much about it. But we probably slightly got the price slightly under what the market's expectations, which is a rare thing in this. We had a look at some of the comparables, put it out there. 21 groups through the first open.
Ooh, wow.
And 14 of those people, 14 of those groups put an offer in.
Wow.
And not surprisingly, the property went absolutely ballistic.
14?
Yeah, 14 out of the 21 groups that came through.
Wow.
And that went absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So after being at Opens over the last couple of months, where we've sometimes had 2s and 3s and 4s at them, to have 21 groups through and 14 offers, you went, there's people, there's people still out there.
There's people still out there, 100%.
And this was a perfect mix of first home buyers, downsizers, retirees. And so you had this gamut of all these 18 to 35-year-olds.
Eclectic mix of people.
Sort of 55 plus looking to sort of downsize or their last home before they go into retirement. And it just went. I wish I had 15 of them because I would have sold them all.
Wow. Yes. Wow, that's insane, isn't it? Oh, that's good. Right? That means there's people still out there and all that.
Absolutely. And the Barossa is still a highly desirable place to live.
Yes.
It's funny, I was having a chat with a guy from Adelaide the other day about it. And I think I might have talked about this in our first podcast, but we're now basically from anywhere you are in the Barossa, we're an hour away or under an hour away from Adelaide.
Yep, you can see the skyline 40 minutes from leaving our house.
So you know where you're located, you can jump out onto the highway and within 55 minutes, bang.
You're straight there. Yep, absolutely.
So it opens it up to such a wide range of buyers that even people that live, that are currently working in the city or in the northern suburbs, geez, I can live in the Barossa, and we're still very affordable.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people travel for work because I went to the airport, when was it? Last week, and I was driving there at 8 o'clock, and that north-south expressway was just insanely busy.
Bumper to bumper.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of people live out here, and you even see all through Anglevale and is it Playford and all that? Just the amount of all coming north and far out. So there's a lot of people that obviously live outside, and that's why the Barossa, we are so close to the city now. Like
we really are, but we're far enough out that you get to have the best of both. We're country living.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you need to duck into the city or you work in the city 3 or 4 days a week, 50 minutes in, 50 minutes out, put on a podcast, put on some music, and
put a podcast on. Absolutely. Hey,
Properties and Plonk. Just make sure it's this one.
Yes.
But we are, and lastly, like I said, we are still very affordable. The median house price in Adelaide now is over $1 million.
Yeah.
Right? So no matter where you're buying, I just had someone buying in Eiffelton last week that just paid over $1 million for a property. And if you'd said 15, 20 years ago, you're going to be asking, and respectfully to Eiffelton, it's a nice area with lots of old homes and that. If you'd said $1 million for properties there 20 years ago, you would have been laughed at.
Yeah, correct.
Whereas, so people are coming up here now and saying $800,000-$900,000 homes, which beautiful homes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which are really affordable.
Yes, correct.
Compared to what else.
But we're seeing obviously expansion, like even Kapunda. So obviously just outside the Barossa, getting quite big. Freeling as well. Well, these towns were relatively small and quite country back when we were growing up in the day. And
Freeling and Roseworthy. Roseworthy.
$250 million shopping complex just been approved for out at Roseworthy. And my memory's not doing Roseworthy a disservice to all the fine folk out there, because I will be one soon. It was just a small little sort of farmy sort of town, and now they've got a $250 million shopping complex with Coles and 30 shops going out there.
It's crazy.
And then hasn't the government just released land that'll stretch from Roseworthy to Two Wells in the next 30 years and things like that. It's just insane, like what's happening out here, especially out in the north side of things. But like Two Wells, big as well, Virginia, like all happening out here.
Anglevale,
we're seeing it like Kapunda, like it's just amazing.
We're only talking about Kapunda this morning, actually, and I think while Kapunda has absolutely grown, I think Kapunda out of all the towns, I read something about 63% since the start of COVID or something like that. Kapunda has gone boom, but it started from a bit of a lower base.
Yeah.
That is one town that I still think has so much growth in it. And this wasn't on our run sheet today, but I'll just quickly talk about Kapunda. If you think you've got reception right through to year 12, so you've got a primary school there, you've got a high school. Okay.
Good high school, by the way. Good. I've heard the high school and the principal and everything out there is top notch. So
good high school. You've got medical facilities. You've got a hospital out there which does births, which we don't even have.
Is that right? Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. There you go.
They have births out there.
Good food land.
Good. Brand new food land.
Brand new out there. So
you've got a good sporting complex and everything like that. You've got a golf course. You've got a swimming pool.
The old Bombers.
There's all sorts happening out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you look at the housing is still really, really affordable. So I reckon that's still got a lot of growth.
Wow, that's interesting. The other one is Wasley's as well. Wasley's, I'm hearing, is getting, big blocks out there, big blocks, people moving out there. I know the principal of Wasley's Primary School quite well. I certainly do. But yeah, even Wasley's like
the beauty. I don't sell much out that way, but I sold a block about 2 years ago. Or sold a house on a block, and they're all massive blocks in this estate. They're all 1,000 square metre blocks. So you go out there, and now with everything that's going to be at Roseworthy, you'd be 10, 15 minutes away from all your shopping and everything like that.
Well, they say 15-minute cities. There's a conspiracy theory there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but no, things are just getting out of hand, isn't it? It's crazy to think that, like, because we've been here our whole lives and things like that, and just to think to see it growth down here. But that leads me to why is it so good down here? Why? Yes, you got the travel part of it and all that, and to people work, but bringing a family up down here, like, you and I went through that as youngins and all that. And, like I may have said it before, I can't remember, but like you go down the main street back in the day, you knew everyone, where now the Barossa is changing. Yeah. We're getting more people in. You're not getting the Zemlers, the Liebigs, the Rolacs, the Lintners and all that. They're sort of diluting out a little bit now, the old box head names. But look, why is it so good down here? Like,
if you think, and I might have said this in one of the other podcasts as well, you look out from Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane, and you go you start in the CBD and you go an hour out of any of those cities, you are still in the city.
Yeah.
And especially in Sydney and Melbourne, we've got a mate that lives over, obviously, that we know in Melbourne.
Yes.
And he's still right in the burbs, and it takes him 55 minutes to get to
that's insane,
his house from the middle of, from Punt Road where it works.
Yep.
Now, if you think, you leave the Adelaide CBD, you go to a Crows game and you leave, within 50 minutes or 55 minutes, you're back home in your own bed here in St Kilda and you're in Angaston. That's why, but it is the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You do come out here, and we've got family that live in Adelaide and come back out here and they go, oh, the weight just drops off your shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't realise it because you're living it, but it's a very relaxed
it is.
part of the world.
There's no peak hour, not that there's much of a peak hour in Adelaide.
Get stuck in 6 cars, but it's on the main street sometimes.
There's some great schools down here. There's good footy teams, netball teams, all that sort of stuff. So, like I said, we have lived all this in our lives, and it is a great place. It's still so safe down here as well.
It is.
It's insanely safe here. Like,
you see what makes the police news in the leader, and there'll be, a broken window from maybe a couple of kids running around.
Someone's gone DUI or something.
That's right. We as a general rule, we're pretty safe.
It's a pretty safe place, and it is a great place to live down here, and we have some of the best
some
of the world as well. Absolutely.
Thanks again to the Sieber Wines for having us.
Yep, and his 2022 GSM as well. Please check it out.
Absolutely.
Yes, at sieberwines.com as well. Cool. Yeah. All right, mate. That was good. That was a nice get back on it. So we'll try and make these a bit more regular.
It will be a bit more regular.
Tell everyone where you went on your holiday, Ro. Go on.
Singapore and the Maldives.
Oh, how
it was absolutely lovely. But we're back into it now.
Makes me feel sick.
We'll have a podcast again in a couple of weeks.
We will, from a brand new location, and we'll have a new producer to highlight. Champion. So
absolutely.
Good on you. Thank you very much, Ro. Good on you, mate.
Jim.
Yep. Cheers. Thank you.